And period, we are live. Hey y'all.
Hey.
I'm here with Kayla, as you can see. Getting ready for showtime. So we about to get these tunes rolling. We about to go live from IG. You already know what time it is. Get into the bag live in T-3 minutes. And when I go live, then I'll play the music. Okay. Actually, I can just play it now because why not? So this artist is my girl Yana from Cleveland. She's on Spotify and YouTube, Yana S, and this is her single, Toxic. So let me know what y'all think. And we are
Whoever
live.
wins is the one that writes the history.
Hello and welcome to Get Into the Bag. I am your host, Embryo Coleman, and this podcast is brought to you by Columbus Black and Mayo. Columbus Black serves to be the primary source of communication in Columbus, Ohio, so make sure you're following them on all social media platforms. And Mayo, making your life entertaining, is the next generation of software where you can curate your own experiences with just the tap of a finger. It's free, easy to use, and when you're looking for places to go, things to do, and places to eat, just smile it. Make sure y'all download that Mile app for all of your destination needs. Okay. And I went over this already, but this is my girl Yana. Yana S from Cleveland. This is her single Toxic. So let me know how you rocking with it. Hey, Nikki girl.
I don't want to see you fail, no. I think you should win, but it don't matter what I think, whether you sink or you swim. And it don't matter what you think, nigga, cause we ain't friends. You ain't know, but round here we don't break, we bend. If I could write the book about your intentions, all the things you meant to do and all the shit that you forgot to mention, keep my hands to the side, but they itching. Eyes to the light at the end, cause I got the tunnel vision.
Nikki.
Pray for me, what you need.
I do too.
Listen to these words.
Follow my girl, Yana, on social media. I'll make sure to tag her in the show notes because your girl is the truth. Cleveland Maid. Please protect your energy. Understand they not on friends, so enemies. You check them in here quick, it's just like Jimmy. Hey, Kayla girl.
Hey.
And it is 7 o'clock, which means it is showtime. I'm gonna fade this out. Hey y'all, we just about to get started. Welcome to Get Into the Bag. That's my auntie. Okay, shout out to Drama. Shout out his auntie. All right. Well, welcome to Get Into the Bag tonight, y'all. I have my beautiful guest, Miss Kayla Oliver, here to talk about her brand, her business, and everything that she has going on right now. So without further ado, we just gonna get right into introductions. So Miss Kayla, tell us about yourself, honey.
Okay, I'm Kayla Oliver. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised, and I'm 23 years old. A little bit about my business is that I created my business in May 2019. I offer various lemonades, all homemade from scratch in Cincinnati region, and it'll be open to more of Ohio and countrywide very, 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 very soon.
Countrywide, I know that's right. I can't wait for that. But we're going to get into that in a second because I need the tea, the lemonade, whatever y'all want to call it this episode. I need it. I need it. So I started a new segment, y'all. Y'all know I'm always changing up the show. This segment is called Break the Ice. I found these really, really cool icebreaker questions, just Googling stuff. So this question for you, Kayla. What is one thing you can do this year that you couldn't do last year?
Okay, one thing I can do this year is that I've been big on figuring out how to let go. And when I say that, I mean like as in letting go, like I'm usually somebody like I have a schedule out. If I don't meet something by this time, this date, then I feel like I failed. I feel like I didn't do exactly what I need to do. I just didn't do I just didn't do what I wanted. But in hindsight, literally, like sometimes you have to let go of those timestamps, those age limits, because I feel like that you need to follow God's timing. And so I'm trying to let go of like me rushing or wanting to be this, that, and the third at a point and just wait to get to that point. No rush with God's timing and God's will on my side.
I love that. Giving yourself grace. You are not on your time, honey. You are on God's time, always on God's time. So I love that answer. Yes, come on, show me love in the comments. Shout out to Faith, the biggest CEO. Yes. What is one personal goal of yours and what is one professional goal of yours?
Okay, a personal goal of mine. Let me see. Oh, well, I really want to move next year. So Texas, but I'm actually open to the Carolinas as well. Okay. So I just want to move. I have to move by the end of next year. That's something I have to do. It's going to make me happy. I wanted to move last year. I want to move this year. But next year, I feel like it's God's timing again for me. So that's what I want to do personally. A professional goal of mine is a long-term goal is to be a creative director. I'm really big on that. That's something I do on the side right now, like, on my own, but I would love to do it for like a big company as Apple, Yahoo, Google, things like that.
I love that. Pushing purpose. I know that's right. Shout out to you, Amari. So it sounds like you have some big goals. And when it comes to the Carolinas, my favorite is North Carolina, Charlotte specifically. Are you looking there?
Yes, Charlotte. Yes. I was supposed to move there last year.
Okay.
So that's what made me start looking into Charlotte. I was never into Charlotte at first until I was doing a certain program. And then I was looking all into that. And I had a whole neighborhood to move into and everything. And so I was looking at that. So that still is on my list. But that's the only place I'm looking at in the Carolinas is Charlotte. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. Charlotte is thriving right now. And that's like one of the top places for young professionals, young Black professionals.
Young Black. I'm about to say the same thing, young Black.
Yes. So I wish you the best. I can't wait for you to see you wherever you land. I know you're going to be great. Now let's get into this Maid, honey. So where did the idea of Kay's Maid originate from?
Okay, so the main idea is from me and my grandma. If you know me, I'm a grandma's girl. I always used to be with my grandma until the age of like 13. I lived with her until I was 5. So me and my grandma would be in the kitchen, like playing around with lemonade all the time. She would always make it. So one day I was at school at OU and I made it for my roommate and my college best friend, Hannah. They went crazy about it. I had an event for Fest where I made a lot of lemonade, like a whole bucket. Those big buckets we used to make. And we had a great time with the lemonade and we spiked it and things like that. And after that, I had a lot of internships that summer. And I was like nervous on how I was going to work like 2 jobs because I used to manage some retail stores. And I was like, well, how am I going to do that in the internships? Like, it's not going to balance. So I was like, I want to kind of do my own thing. So I just tried like all of a sudden doing a lemonade. Like, it's just something I just did and it took off from there and I really enjoyed it and became a passion of mine.
So this is like a family recipe.
Okay, so it was, and then my grandma's kind of sad because I turned around the recipe, but it's based off of the original woman, if you get what I mean. Yes. Like things are definitely tweaked and it will make a definitely taste difference, but like, yeah, based off of her family recipe.
So it's like the original, but remixed a little bit.
Remixed, yes. What?
Yes. So, you mentioned that you used to make all of this at OU. It really popped at OU. Mm-hmm. Talk about, because, we got to get into the Bobcat talk. Why you even chose OU in the first place?
Okay, well, I chose OU. Okay, let me give you the background. Okay. I went on a college tour, HBCU. I went to like literally, like 13 HBCUs in person. I went to a lot of schools in Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky. Like I was literally dipping and dabbling everywhere. Like I wanted to make sure I went to the right college for me. OU was the last college I visited and I was sent on Howard when I visited OU. Mm-hmm. And my mom wanted me to go to Toledo. And I was like, ooh, like I don't know about that for me. Like I don't know. But I was stuck on Howard. Like I was ride or die Howard. I went to OU and I went to the MVP program with ours.
Yes.
I was in high school. And I was like, oh, I like it here. Like, it was a vibe. We had the MVP variety show, all that going on. And so the next year, what was that? Like a couple months before, you're supposed to make your decision. I had my mom visit and I was like, no, like this is school for me. Like, I just feel like at home, like I love the college environment, like everything like that. I don't know. And that's where it took me.
I definitely have seen you at HBCU. Like something about you just gives me just like Southern, like come give me a hug, girl. Yes. Like I just love that about you. But I'm happy that you landed at OU. And for people that don't know, me and Kayla were actually on the same hours board. So shout out to ours, doing great things at Ohio University. Shout out a couple more of your orgs because you were involved.
Yes, so I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Delta Phi chapter. So shout out Delta Phi at OU. Yeah. I also was the president of Ohio University Recruiting Society, was the community service chair at a point in time as well. I worked with scripts with I use a university teaching assistant, which is in the org, but if you know how much work you put into that and all the groups, I did that. I also was working with admissions with the hours, and then I did resident assistant. So I did the house and residence life crew as well.
So busy lady.
Busy bee at school, busy.
Very busy. On last episode, we talked about how we wasn't gonna say busy, but Kayla, you was busy.
I was busy.
So how did you even manage to, on top of everything that you was involved in, on top of school, and now you are like planting that seed for your business? How did you even manage your time?
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you. Like I managed it, like, and you know, when COVID hit and stuff, I was real sad, but I was able to take like a step back and sit down, you know, and figure out like some better things with my timing. And that summer, when was that? That was 2020. That was the most I was able to really like put my hands into my business, like, and took off even more in the city. But that's also because I wasn't right in school before that, like, you know, physically, because we were moved back from COVID. So that helped me with my time and things like that. But actually, to be honest, sophomore year to junior year wasn't that bad for me, because remember I had the internships. Yeah. So I was able to do my internships and do the lemonade, like, and it weigh each other out. Okay. So things just, I don't know, things end up balancing, but I cannot give any tips on the timing, because some days I'm stressed and some days I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I don't know.
I know the feeling, girl. I know the feeling. But I mean, you're staying consistent and getting to that bag, and that's all that matters. Shout out to DeFi. Hey, Honesty. Thanks for tuning in on the live. So did you go to school for business, or what did you went majored in journalism, right?
No, so I majored in communication studies and journalism. Okay. You know, when looking back, I wish I did a minor in business, but like, it doesn't matter now. But I would have definitely had done that, but business wasn't really on my mind. I actually came into OU as a nursing student.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I was doing nursing. So everything was switching for me throughout the year. Everything was switching. But yeah, communication studies, journalism, that's really my passion. Business is now, but only because I own a business.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Well, busy. I'm sorry, I have something in my eye here. But talk about your favorite OU memory. I love asking this question to all my former Bobcats. What was your favorite OU memory?
You know, we had so many good times at OU where I don't have a favorite memory. I don't have a memory, but I loved fest season. So I'm just gonna say that as a fool. Like, fest season was a vibe, not only like during like, you know, the exact event or whatever street we're on, but like just that whole weekend, that whole like spring era was like, everybody was like around each other. Like, it was just good vibes, like especially after winter, because winter in Athens is treacherous with those bricks. Yeah. So we always ready for that to go.
And you know what? It's funny because fest season like is literally a sentence at OU. Like, if you ask somebody what's their favorite thing, that's all they have to say, and like you can end it there.
That's it.
And if you know, you know. So definitely fest season. Did you have a favorite fest? I know like Palmer was a popular one.
Everybody loved Palmer. You know, I really liked High Fest too.
High Fest, yeah. But I didn't like High Fest Hill because not for me. That just walking wasn't for me. But
yeah, but when you were a certain way, the walking wasn't enough.
And we will move on. Well, like I said, if you know, you know. So shout out to OU. Shout out to all my Bobcats on the live. Love y'all so much. So as far as, you know, after graduation, you said you got your business together really in 2020, right?
No, in 2019.
2019. Okay. So when did you officially decide to like launch?
Okay, so this is crazy. So, I never really told anybody. They're like, oh, I'm about to how people settle on something for months and they're like, I'm working up to it, I'm working up to it. Well, you know how the interns and stuff, internships. And so the lemonade was kind of a last minute thing for me. Not last minute, but it was something I just jumped off the cliff at. That's literally what happened. So I was like, I'm about to just do the lemonade. I didn't tell nobody. I literally took a picture and posted it. That's what I did.
You didn't tell nobody about your business. You didn't tell nobody about your idea.
I took a picture. I put it on my social media. I said, I'm about to start selling lemonade, place an order. That's what I did. And then I told all my friends and my family, that same day, I'm going to start selling lemonade. And they're like, huh? I'm like, that's what I'm about to do. That's just what it is.
Uh-huh.
So I never really was taking baby steps to get somewhere. I just literally just dove into it.
And it's crazy because it just you would have thought that you marketed up to it because it popped. I remember seeing those mason jars all over people's story. So I would have thought that you got the word out before you got the word out, But you said that's not the case.
That was not the case. It really was just a leap of faith, honestly.
Okay. So you launched your business. It looked like it did very well when it launched. You were selling lemonade all over Cincinnati. And it looks like you took a break for a little bit.
Yes. No, I did take a break. So I usually did every summer anyway. So I've been doing lemonade. I did it the whole summer of 2019, the whole summer of 2020. I did it at school. What was that? What was that? Before COVID hit. So I did it at school. Actually, I did it from summer 2019 to the end of 2019, really, until October, November-ish. And then I picked it back up April or May 2020. I did it until September 2020. And I stopped again. And the reason why I was stopping is because of school. So it's funny that you had mentioned the time earlier because when I was into school, I was taking 20 credits. I had to graduate on time for me. That just wasn't an option because I would have been in school taking I think 9 or 12 credits that last semester they would have added on. So I'm about to just smash this all together. So I was taking 21 credits, 2 semesters. I was taking 20 credits the other 2 semesters. And doing that in the case name and trying to figure out post-grad life was just too much. It just was too much. It wasn't feasible for me and for the future I wanted, me putting on my time and effort. So I had to take those breaks.
What was you think the hardest part of figuring out post-grad life for you?
Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, okay. So when I graduated school, I had a full-time position with Teach for America. Okay. So I was doing that, which is totally different from what I went to school for.
Right.
They reach out to leaders on campus. So I really liked what their mission was about, their vision was about, what they wanted to do with people, and so forth. And that's what I went with. And I love their program. And that's why I was moving to Charlotte originally, was Teach for America. Then all of a sudden I changed it up last minute because something in my heart just didn't feel right because it wasn't I really wanted to step into my passion, my career. So, which it was communications. So I took a step back, a very last minute decision. I was moving to Charlotte in 2 weeks and I took it, I stopped everything. And I was like, no.
What?
No, yes. So post-grad life was very hectic for me. I had a lot going on. I thought I was moving, I was doing training, I was working, I was trying to figure out K's Native if I could do it or not. And then it was making me sad because I had so many people coming up to me because especially with the summertime and they knew I did it every summer, what's going on with K's Native?
Right.
And I was just oh goodness, because I feel well, what is going on? But my own personal life, I just couldn't mix the two.
Wow. So you canceled 2 weeks before you were supposed to move. You was like, nope, don't like it. Don't feel it in my heart.
Yes. And my mom was like, this is crazy. Everybody was like, really, are you sure? I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not going. I can't go. And it wasn't because it just didn't feel right. And something to me, and my grandma used to tell me all the time when I was younger, when something does not feel right, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Don't do it because you know how you are. Then when you're in the predicament, you're I got to stick it through, but you want happiness before anything. So I was I just need to pull back. I need to pull back and sit down and not just take off because I think that when post-grad life, you just feel that when you graduate, you have to get into a position because everybody's asking you, what you doing? What job you in now? And I think that some people, especially your family, your older family members are seeing oh, she got to be doing this now because you graduated college, but they don't understand that transition. You've been doing college for years. It's hard to transition, right out of college into a full-time job. And honestly, the realism of that isn't that realistic anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people really don't understand that pressure coming out of school. You already have been in school for however long you've been in school, whoever situation. And it's like, now it's that pressure, like, okay, now go get a job and go be an adult and go do everything right now. So I think a conversation definitely needs to be had with people before they even get to school. Realistic expectations, like, look, you are not about to get out of here and just get the ball rolling. Some people might, but I'm happy that you're transparent and was like, no, I had to switch it up a bit. I love that. So now you're back operating, right? Because you're about to launch this month.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm very excited about this launch because this is something that's been on my mind for a long time, because last summer I wasn't able to do it. I did my day party last month. And my day party was like for a Juneteenth theme as well, just because I love getting like my people together in one area, like, and everybody having a good time. But it was kind of like a promo as well, like K's Nate is back, because I was gone for a while. And, you know, I also had nerves doing this because I'm like, I've been gone for so long. But all these people showed up to the day party and really motivated me to go even harder for my rebrand. And something I've been working on, something I'm very proud of, something that's very different. So I'm actually kind of nervous as well. So I'm like, you know how you're like so excited about something, but you're still on edge, like, what is it gonna be? So yeah, I'm very excited to just get it out there, like just drop it. Like I'm just ready to just drop it and see where it goes, see like the good criticism, the bad criticism. Like I'm so open to whatever people have to say about things and just growing better and bigger every time.
So talk about a little bit, what can we expect out of this launch? Because, you know, we saw the new flavor. Is there anything else that we can expect?
In summary, like just know the K's Nate that you knew is not the exact same K's Nate now. And when I say that, it's the same, like, you know, product, top tier lemonade, but a whole different look. So don't look for what you knew. Look for something new. If you get that. So yeah.
So are you going to do like another launch party? Because that was like the pre-launch party. Are you going to do like an actual launch party?
And, you know, I've been thinking about that. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I have so much going on right now with just like doing the K's Nate, like focusing on just the relaunch itself was a lot, and the rebrand. So I'm focusing on that. And I'm also like selling it out of like a suite now that I have a suite office space. So I'm trying to get that together as well. So I'm like, okay, once at a time, Kayla, don't do too much. Because when I do too much, it'd be not too much. Just do not too much.
Right. And we just talked about it, and we're going to give yourself grace in the process. Right. So talk about a little bit about your favorite flavors, like your favorite flavors on the menu. And if you can give us a little hint on the new flavor, that would be nice too.
Okay, my favorite flavor, you know, it's interesting because one of the names for the strawberry is K's Fave. And that was my favorite the longest, but recently in the last couple of weeks is peach. And I be feeling bad because I'm like, should I change that name? Because that's not my favorite no more. But it's like peach or strawberry. And that's kind of like the top two flavors too. It's peach and strawberry. But a lot of people go hard for the other ones. Like, you know, Victoria, my line sister, she go hard for the mango. She'll tell anybody, that's my top flavor. Like, that's it. And then I know people who be like blueberry. That's it for me. Like, that's what they want. And then some people like original. Like, you know, since I do so many flavors, original is not really what I focus on, but some people really just want that. So that as well. And as far as the new flavor, okay, so I put out on my story a little bit, so I'll be able to put it out on here. Somebody guessed the name of the flavor, and it was Seeing Green. So I'm gonna put it out there. It's called Seeing Green. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say three things that people said. It was 3 guesses. One of these guesses is correct. So the 3 flavors people guessed was lime, kiwi, and mint. So you take those 3 and you go off of whatever you want to, and you assume whatever you want. You pick which one you want it to be. But it's one of those for sure.
She basically said, do what you want to with that information. Well, I'm hoping for kiwi. I am been on a mango kick lately, so I'm definitely going to see what that mango is hitting for. But I'm a peach girl too. I love me a good peach drink. So, I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Can we get any details on the launch? Like, when is it launching? Like soon?
Soon. Like soon.
Soon.
Like soon. Like Don't worry, you'll have it. You'll have it soon in your hand.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll have it. We'll have it soon. Well, y'all, we about to get ready for audience questions. So make sure y'all putting those questions in the chat. Anything you want to ask Kayla, we'll answer it here on the live. And while y'all doing that, we're going to get into some more questions that I have here for her. So as far as your job, like, do you have a day job, or is Kay's Nade like your job?
No, so I think that's why it's so hard for me to like put Kay's Nade all the way up to the top, because I'm balancing it out with my career. So I work in communications. I actually work at FC Cincinnati. So I do that, and then I have all these side jobs as well, which is not Kay's Nade. So I do creative direction. I told you that's one of my professional long-term goals, is to be a creative director. So I do that. I'm off to the side. I actually shout out to my best friend. She just did her podcast, and I creative directed her shoot for that.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yes,
how was that experience?
Yes, it was really nice. I really love doing the photo shoots. It's nice to really get somebody's vision of what they want to look like, and then put it all together and give them all these options. And they love them, and they have hard times even picking what they want to do now. Like, it's like I gave them their vision in 3 different forms, and then they have to pick one and run with it. So I just love doing that, like having people's vision that they don't know how to put it out there and put it together themselves, creating it for them, and just seeing like the results be phenomenal. So that's the exact look that she wanted, and we did so many creative ties to it, and I'm so glad that the photographer was able to do the creative things that I wanted him to do as well. So it was really nice with that. But I also do off to the side social media and brand development. So I just be doing a lot of side things.
Wow.
Yes, and then I have Kay's Nade, and then I also have my communications career job. So it's like I'm juggling every week. And so, yeah.
Dang, girl. I'm literally like, dang, like, how do you even have time? Do you have time? Like, do you sleep? Like,
sleep. I'm big on sleep. I don't play. No,
for real, because she was just saying that she just took a nap.
Yeah, I just took a nap. So I'm really big on that. It's kind of hard sometimes to juggle. I will say, I want to shout out to my friends and my close family, because they really work with me with it as well, where I'm able to do my self things with them and give me my time to be to myself too. And they don't like bug me about it. So sometimes I'm like, I got a lot of work to do, and I hang out with my friends and have my laptop. So like, that's how I kind of juggle my time now. It's like I do both, like a 2-for-1. Sometimes I go out to Starbucks or something for some self time, and I'm doing my work at the same time. So I'm just learning how to like juggle things, balance it together, and do 2-for-1s, because doing one at a time is my time shrinking too low. So yeah.
And still mapping out time for yourself too.
Exactly. Still mapping out time for myself.
Because self-care, that's always at the top of my list.
Top of the list.
Shout out to my girl, Tyann. She asked, what inspired Kay's Nade?
My grandma inspired Kay's Nade. But the name actually came from my best friend, Elijah. To be very clear, my name was going to be some long name. A lot of people from high school, if you went to high school with me, called me Mama Kay. So it's gonna be something like Mama K's, like something like that. And then everybody at college would call me Country Kayla, because my accent, they say I have. So I was just trying to run off with stuff like that. And Elijah was like, that's too much. Like, just keep it simple and still like, to the point. And he was like, what about Kay's Nade? And so after he said the Kay's Nade, I was like, oh, like, that's like putting everything together. And it just took off from there. So shout out to Elijah for me with the name.
She gonna say that accent that people think I have. Like, I know you hear yourself. Stop playing with me, Kayla. Kayla about as country as she want to be, y'all. She said she was from Cincy. I was like, huh? Cincy, that's it? Nowhere more south? Okay.
Cincinnati, that's it. Nobody in my family talks like me. Not one.
One of a kind.
One of a kind, I guess. One of a kind.
Well, I love that. Thank you for that question, Ty. So tell me, I want to know exactly how does Kay's Nade plan to give back to the Cincinnati community?
Okay, so I said one of my personal goals was moving next year. So I was kind of like recently been thinking about this, because I plan to move and I want to do a storefront in the next 2 to 3 years. That's like my goal. But I'll be having my storefront exactly where I'm located at, which won't be Cincinnati. So my plan is to come back for Cincinnati events. So we have different weeks in Cincinnati that's really big, like the Cincinnati Taste, the Juneteenth, the block party is big now. This year was the biggest I've ever seen it. Just different events like that, things at Washington Park. It's an event I'm missing that's really big on Sawyer Point, but it's one on Sawyer Point. Like, so I really want to come back during those events and do K's Maid, but also something I do on my own. And then also with my sororities, a lot of volunteer work. So I really want to put K's Maid in that big front. Like, I plan to do K's Maid like really big. Like, this is something that's like, I don't like to call it small because it's not small to me, but like, it's a small business right now, but I'm hoping to be like in businesses, like, you know, bigger companies, like places like Target one day. Like, shout out to that girl, Me's and the Bees Lemonade. Like, she's in there. Like, I'm trying to work my way in rooms to be bigger, to give back to my community. I went to Creative and Performing Arts High School. Like, you know, creative people, it's hard for them to express themselves sometimes. Like, I want to get them spaces in Cincinnati, like where they can go to those places. Like, it's just a lot of stuff I want to do, like a lot of things that I've been through as a person that I wish I had certain spaces for. And I would like for my brand to be big so I can get those spaces to those people, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it makes sense. So it's definitely, like you said in your bag talk quote, like it's more than lemonade. Like what you're trying to do is build like not only wealth for yourself, but you're trying to give back to the community. And it seems like you've always been about that. Like ever since I've known you, it's like you always trying to think of ways to give back in some type of way. I love that about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you talked about you don't plan to stay in Cincy.
No.
Any other upcoming business ventures that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, not necessarily ventures. Well, shout out to my career direction. I'm about to make a page for that and post all my photo shoots I've been doing recently. I'm also doing my social media and my brand development. So I do that off to the side with my graphic design, doing that for social medias. But just as far as like a venture, something I'm trying to add on to K's Maid is like apparel. So that is something I'm looking forward to as something I offer people. And then with the rebrand, I'm actually putting out some more products in it with the way it's going to look. So I don't want to put too much out there, but there'll be other products out there too with that. And then eventually down the road, something I've been working with my grandfather is doing property. So that's another total different realm that I'm going to step into in the next year before I leave and figuring that out.
That is definitely where the money's at. Getting you some property, building that generational wealth. I absolutely love that. And can we expect you to spike the nades? Because that sounds real good to me.
So actually, yes. I previously spiked the nades all the time. Just really off of like requests. So that's something that's requested. I definitely put it out there for that. So whenever somebody's like, okay, but can you spike it for me? Or can I get a gallon? Can you spike it for me? I'm having an event, blah, blah, blah. Like I give it to them spiked already. That's something I do. But I'm also in joint with this bar in the city called the Stadium, and they spike it themselves there. So I give them my lemonade, they spike it however way they do it. But I spike my lemonade a certain way. So if you want it done my way, you got to come my way. So that's
baby, won't you come my way? Okay, no Fetty Wap. I love that. So wait, you give them your nade and they spike it at Stadium. How much do you give?
Gallons. On gallons. When I had the day party, that was 20 gallons and it was gone at the end of the day party.
So you made 20. How many lemons had to be sacrificed to make 20 gallons of lemonade?
I buy boxes of lemons, like boxes. So like in each box is probably about 70 lemons. So it was about 3 boxes.
Oh my God.
3 boxes sacrificed.
70 lemons?
70 lemons.
You get like a discount?
No.
Where do you buy your produce typically?
Restaurant Depot. I also look into Aldi, and I also been going to or looking into local farms. So that's something that I'm about to start doing now. I've been looking into some different places. I just was telling my sister, like, I want to look into somewhere here in Columbus and Cincinnati when it comes to farms or in that area, especially up the way towards Athens. And see if I want to do something like that. But that's what I'm working on now because I'd rather do it straight from the place instead of having to run around because that's more time that I have to do to collect things, to buy things.
Got you. Shout out to Skating Diva. She said that's a lot of squeezing. No, for real. She must have the hands of our ancestors for real. Because I cannot. Do you have help? Like, do you make it?
So originally everything was straight from hands. And I can't listen. That's too much. So now I have machinery that I've bought me a couple of machines, and my sister bought me another machine for my birthday that was definitely just lemons only. And so that was big for me. And she really took a lot of time down from me doing that. So that's something I've been working on now. And it's been like decreasing my time, but now that I have more orders, more like things, it's like still the same time, but like it works great for me.
Amari said she gonna plant you a lemon tree. So
and that's what she needs to do.
Girl, because with those nails, I can't even imagine you squeezing 70 lemons times 3 boxes. Like that is insane. Let me see them real quick because them nails is cute. Come on. Give me a one of them. Yes. Very cute. Shout out to Taylor's Nail Tech. So besides, you add in apparel, do you have like a website people can pre-order?
So that's what I'm working to with the rebrand. You know how I just said, like, it's nothing you've seen before. It's definitely all new. So with the rebrand, it'll be stuff online. So you'll be placing orders online now. Like usually people would do it through my page, but it's not that no more. It's literally straight to a website. You're going to click whatever you do, you're going to purchase, and you're either going to pick up or hopefully be the shipping.
Oh, hold on. She might have been getting a call, y'all. Oh, wait, she's back.
Okay, I think it's back.
Yeah, you're back.
But yeah, you can purchase online through that way. And so it's just gonna be way easier for me and my customers because you'll be able to look and, decide that all on your own. Don't have to ask too many questions because it'll all be out there.
That sounds a whole lot easier too. You used to go through like your Instagram DMs and like those orders.
Yes. Girl. And imagine having like one time I had 300 different orders. And so I connected my Instagram into like, what is that called? So like just a track sheet on my computer and had it like go off of there and make one. And I don't know how I did that. That was something I was up all night long trying to figure out and it finally worked. But that saved me a lot of time because it was getting crazy. Like it was getting too much.
And I love how you just, in telling your stories, you always find a solution. Like whatever problem you run into, it's always a way you're going to get around it.
Yes.
And I just love that about it. That's very innovative. And you have to be.
Yes, my mom made me be like that growing up. Like, you're going to find a way, Kayla. You better figure it out. She's like, you're going to figure it out. I'm done helping. And I'll have to figure it out. So, I have to figure it out. It'll get figured out. It may not be on my exact time and I want to, but it'll get figured out.
I feel like I say that like 20 times a week. Like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. And I feel like as Black women, like that is Black women. What we do. We gonna figure it out.
Like it's gonna get figured out. Don't worry about it.
It does. Always does.
Always does.
Come on, Black women. I just love y'all. Shout out to y'all. So describe, you talk about, your I think it was your sister you said bought you the machinery. You talked about how your friend had input in naming your business. Just describe your support system in one word and why you chose that word.
The word I'm going to use is extensive. That's what I'm going to say. When I say extensive, meaning as in, it's way bigger than I ever imagined. So like, it's like, my family, my friends, my line sisters, like it's all them, like, and then it's people that I don't know. Like that I never even seen a day in my life, or people that I just know now because of Kay's name. Like a lot of my customers now are people I just be talking to on social media. Like, so it's really extensive, and it's a blessing because of that. And it's something I really feel all the time because I'm somebody that wants everything perfect. So like everybody knows I stress myself out because I'm like, okay, but that one little teeny thing is not enough for me. Like that's not how I wanted it. Like, and so they like really support me in that and calm me down and keep me collected.
And you need that. You absolutely need that strong support system. And I know you have a lot of people close to you that you mentioned, but I always think it's crazy that your biggest supporters be people you don't even know.
Yes. Yes. And something Ian has said, and shout out to Ian because he was on here too before.
Yes, shout out to Ian.
Is he was like, I always do something public because like strangers gonna support you more than you think. Like, your biggest supporters be strangers. And, ever since he said that, like, I've been trying to do stuff public more and not just like private or exclusive because that is true. And I really do value my customers and people that I do not know that support me.
And I'm glad that you focus on the people that do support you because I think it's real easy to like focus on the people that are not showing up for you or people that you expected to show up for you. But when you turn that focus to the people that are actually here, like that just brings so much more positivity.
Yes.
Yeah, she said she definitely strives for perfection. but those nails, period. Those nails, that's all I need. Those nails though. Those nails was doing it for me too. So what would you say the biggest struggle overall in your business that you overcame?
Goodness, that I overcame. I'm actually gonna say like my confidence in my business. Like I'm gonna link those together. So like sometimes I used to be nervous like coming out with a new flavor because I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna take it, or I used to be nervous like doing something because I'm like, well, I don't know how they're gonna like it. Even when I rebrand recently, I had to talk to my friend Amari about it because I was like, I'm stressed out. Like, what if they don't like it? Like, what if they don't like it? Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, and something that she told me and Chelsea did as well. My, Chelsea, my line sister.
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea.
She was like, everybody's not gonna like everything you put out there. And Hannah and Maid told me like, the people that God wanted to be attracted to that is who's gonna get it. Right. And when she said that, I was like, whoa, so you just have to sit back sometimes and get out what you want and hope that people enjoy it, hope that people like it, but know that who's meant to like it, who's meant to support is going to do that regardless. Yes. So yeah.
That is some really good advice. I tell people all the time, like, you have an audience for you. Like, there might be people out there that might be selling lemonade, but it's not Kay's name.
Exactly.
People not buying Kay's name.
Exactly. And so I think that's just a point that you just have to make. And, comparison can be the thief of joy. Right. And so, I never compare myself to what other people have going on or to what people may want from me. I just put out what I want for me and for my business and what I feel like is going to help me step into what I need to in the future.
Yes. Come on, back talk. Yes. I find that another thing people struggle with a lot in their business is pricing, right? Because people never know what to charge. You don't want to charge too much, but you want to charge your worth. Is that something that you ever struggle with, figuring out your prices?
Yes, I did. So when I started doing Kay's Name, my mom was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, I was selling quarts, 32 ounces for $5. But that's what quarts for $5. But I had just started off doing something on my own and I was just figuring it out.
Right.
So I was like, well, I didn't want to charge too much. And then I had to sit back and I watched a couple of videos on YouTube and I was like, but you know what you're worth. Like, and who's gonna, we sit up here and we buy Starbucks, one cup is gonna last 2 hours max for $8. So who am I to, not want to charge what I know I'm worth because I'm scared. And I think a lot of Black businesses think about that. And some people like, what's the word? They don't really look into it the way they need to or support it the way they need to because they compare it to a big company. But usually these big companies are not owned by Black people either. So like, I'd rather my money go towards a quality that I do with a Black person in their business and they're up and coming in a huge company and they're charging the same thing. So I just had to look at that and look at it that way and then reevaluate my prices and charge whatever it is. And my prices are about to change again, actually coming up soon with my rebrand. And there's nothing crazy. There's no crazy changes. It's just new volumes of lemonade being sold. So my prices are changing in different ways. But that's something that is definitely big for, I think, every entrepreneur to sit back and reflect on is what they're charging and what they think they're worth. Because if you feel like what you're worth is not what you're charging, you need to sit back and reflect and reevaluate what's going on. Because you don't want to put out or sell yourself short just because you want people to support you or buy your things. You want people that's going to know that you're worth what they're buying, period.
Right. And I mean, yes, you're doing this because you love to do this, but it's also about getting to the bag. It's also about making that check.
Exactly.
So you definitely don't want to break even when it's time, for that money to roll in. And you like, dang, I done spent all this money on these 3 boxes of 70 lemons and I ain't made no money.
Exactly.
So I love that. Yes. Shout out to everybody. I love the engagement in the comment. Faith said Kay got the Maid and the keys. Love the transparency. Shout out to you, Jawan. Thanks for tuning in. That's so true. I've struggled with that, but you're right. We have to change the amount of work and time we put in, and that's on period. Okay. And if everybody else's prices can go up, Kay's Maid prices can go up because inflation is here, honey. So we need to make that back. So I love the transparency, like Jawan said. Can you give your best advice to people that want to just step out on faith, start their own business? What would you tell them?
Oh, goodness. So only one piece. Oh goodness.
What would you tell them? Like, we on the phone. Like, if I want to start my business, what you telling me?
I would tell them really to actually like, and it sounds kind of like typical, but it's really like believe in yourself. And when I say that is like, I struggle with that at times place. Like people really think I'm a confident person and I'm always 10 toes down about everything I put out there. But I'm shaky on things just like as everybody else is. Like, making life decisions is not easy in general. So making a business decision is definitely hard for people. So just believe in yourself and don't be scared to reach out for help. That's another thing. I was scared to reach out for help in the beginning. Like I was putting all this stress on myself. Like my sister knows I'm not good at asking for help. Like, and I think that's something I'm trying to work on. But when you're doing business, like reach out to other business owners that's been successful. Like reach out to friends and family for if you have a question on criticism, like, and be open to that as well. And that's another tip that I would give is you have to be open to things. Like you can't think that everybody is going to love your stuff. You can't think that everything you put out there is going to be 100% right the first time you do it. Like it's trial and error. So like have patience, believe in yourself, and seek help, seek guidance, because you can only do better, but you usually do better from learning new things. And we learn new things through new people, new outlets, new connections.
Come on,
so definitely, networking is huge as well. So sometimes you have to step out your comfort zone and just believe in yourself and take that leap of faith. That's what I did. So
how do you think you take criticism? Like if somebody were to tell you that they didn't like your flavor, how would you take it?
Well, what's crazy is that now that you just said it just in that sentence, I don't like some of my own flavors, like being very transparent. I don't like mangoes in general. I don't like them. So I don't like mango lemonade because I don't eat mangoes. But Vicky would sit here and argue with me like, how do you not think mango is the best flavor? This and a third. And it's just not because it's not for me. But so criticism when people say that they don't like a certain thing, like I'm fine with it because, okay, I don't like certain things either. I think it's just typical.
Can you hear me, Kayla?
Oh, let me see.
Oh, I got you now. That's your sound had went out for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you say Vicky will argue you down about mangoes, but the rest cut out. Can you finish that for me? What you say again?
Oh, Vicky will argue me down about like mangoes being her favorite and it not be mine. And I'm like, well, girl, I don't like mangoes. And people, and I always tell people like, oh, I love the peach. And they're like, I don't like peaches. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. Like, and I understand because I don't like certain things either. Like the blueberry had to grow on me. I didn't like blueberries in the beginning, but now I like the blueberry. So like sometimes like, I'm open for that too. So I'm open for criticism. Like I showed like 5 people my rebrand that I'm going on and different things before I chose exactly what I want to go with. And some people didn't like the choice that I made and some people did. So I'm always open for it. And, I think that's the only way that to grow better, to be better.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, you do what works for you and your business. So I think this is a great segue to my favorite segment, give them their flowers. So anybody that you want to give flowers to who has supported you, helped you through your entrepreneurial journey, this is the time.
So I really just want to shout out, I'm going to shout out one person in particular, because if I sat here and shouted out everybody, we'll be on here for another hour.
Okay.
So I really want to shout out like all my customers because they're really like loyal and dedicated to my lemonade. Like they stand 10 toes down about it. Shout out to my friends that help me all the time, like and support me, my family members, like just that in general, my line sisters, like that whole circle in itself, like huge shout out to that. But, and also people who gave me like in the very beginning, like, shout out to corporate and Max, because that was my first ever pop-up shop. And that was the first summer I ever opened. And, it's those local businesses that I strive to be like one day that help small businesses grow to be bigger. So that as well. But the one shout out that I'm going to put out big is my sister, because my sister knows that it's hard for me to ask for help. And she comes in and saves the day every single time. She knows I'm not going to ask for help, but need it. Kay's name is just me. It's just Kay right now. It's just Kay. But my sister is the only person she's the only person else that knows my recipe. Also, let's say that.
Oh, okay.
She comes in like, when I had that pop-up shop, I had 400 plus orders. I was doing lemonade for 14 hours straight, all on my own.
All by hand.
Tired. I was going through it. It was about to be 1 a.m. My sister was living in Lima at the time, on the OSU campus. And she came and drove because she called me and seen how stressed I was and came to help me. Wow. Like not looking for money, not looking for applause, not looking for nothing like that. It's just how me and my sister are with each other. So, that is a lot for me. Like she always comes in and says that I just had that day party. She lives here in Columbus. I just told you I'm visiting her in Columbus right now. I'm at her place. And she came in from Columbus that night and helped me also move all those gallons around. Like, you know, so that's just somebody who always stands 10 toes down with me. Like, you know, with the struggle, with the success in general. And just like, I just got to shout her out for that.
Yeah, your sister is truly a blessing. Is she older than you?
No, she's younger than me.
Wow. Yes. So this is little sis coming up to help.
Little sister. If you know me, you know me, my sister, like that's my other half. Like that's my heart. So yeah.
Well, huge shout out to your sister. Squeezing all them lemons at 1 a.m. Y'all better go. You know I play too much. Well, I first want to thank you because we are about to get ready to wrap it up here on the show. I've been trying to get the day out of Kayla for the last 47 minutes, y'all. She won't drop when Kate's Maid is dropping. She just said soon. So I'm sorry, I couldn't get it out of her. But we got 3 possible flavors for that new flavor. So
yes, and you know that it's seeing green. And you know that you will see the Kate's Maid in the next weeks to come. So I'll give you that, the next weeks to come. That's not a month, that's weeks. Okay. So I'll put it out there with that too.
And it's about another week left. So she said soon. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Well, leave us before we get out of here, Kay. First off, you know, like I said, thank you for sharing your journey, your transparency. I want you to leave us with a positive note for all entrepreneurs watching my live today, or people that just want something positive. They need some positivity.
A quote I just saw, was this yesterday, the day before? I saw a quote that said, no need to rush. What is meant for you will come at the right time. And I sat back when I read that and was like, because you know, we're always rushing, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a student in school, you trying to figure out your career, you need a new car, whatever it is in life, like we always are trying to rush to get there because we feel like we're moving too slow. And sometimes, like, don't try to push yourself where it feels like you're literally stressing yourself out and weighing yourself down. Like, to step back, take a time, like, you know, figure it out, but don't rush to get there, because what's meant for you will come right on time. And that's from God, you know? And so I really got that also from the comment I said, my personal growth was letting go. I've been letting go on trying to rush to get there, like on my timing. Sometimes my timing may not be the time I need. So just know that you don't have to rush to get places. Like sometimes it's a small walk, you know, somewhere, and other times it's a long walk. And it's okay, because either way, you're going to get there on the time that you need to be there. So that's the advice that I have for you.
And I felt like that was a little bit for me. So I'll go ahead and receive that myself. Faith said, how many days? I know, Faith. I've been trying to get it. She won't drop it. I know. Well, thank you so much for that positive note. That was beautiful. Everything that you're doing. I wish you nothing but success in your business. I wish you success on your big move. Dropping the launch date, dropping soon, since we can't get a date. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stop. Literally, this is me giving you your flowers, and I can't wait to see all the great things that you're gonna do.
Okay, thank you so much, and shout out to you too. This is a great platform. Anybody who wants to come on here and talk about their business and get into the bag, literally reach out to her. She's such a kind spirit, kind soul, always has been.
Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Well, y'all, that's it. Thank y'all so much for watching tonight's episode. If you loved what you heard tonight, make sure you drop it in the comment box. Like I said, I love the engagement. Love to see people get into the bag. I know that's right. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And I got to shout out my sponsors. Shout out to Columbus Black and Mild. Love y'all all the way down. Okay. And make sure y'all tune in next week. Next week, we have the first 3-person Black female interview on my show. I'm super excited. Black women in sports. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how these ladies are making a difference and paving their way to getting their bag. Okay? Tune in next week. And shout out to Yana. I'm about to play this song out. Yana from Cleveland. This is her single, Toxic. I'll catch y'all next week. And Kayla, love you, girl. All right, y'all. Good night.
Whoever wins is the one that writes the history. How that they do it will forever be a mystery. Winning is the mindset you keep when you won't accept defeat. And I repeat, I'm the creator of my sheet. I got some images in my head I don't bother to touch. Anxious cause you don't know who is who and what is what. Setting fires to bridges, yeah, I'm keeping all doors shut.